The moment that your mind blanks before a solo is truly terrifying. This used to happen to me a lot. And now that I've been playing a while, I feel a lot more confident that it's not going to happen. And I have some little techniques that have really helped me. So I'm just gonna give you 4 tips that will apply to any level here to help you not have that terrifying moment of your mind blanking out before a solo. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So for this example, I'm just going to work in a very simple little chord progression here. It's just gonna be G, I'm just playing the bar chords of these, A minor 7th, little hammer on, into an E minor 7th, D, with a little kind of thing at the end of it. So the first thing that I like to do is just thinking of a really simple melody line in my head, or even just copying the chord melody or even the singer's melody, just kind of something to just start really simple and give yourself a second to think of what you're going to use in your solo. So for me, I like to usually just start working around a pentatonic scale because that is so easy and simple. Obviously, you can be fancier than that if you want to start off, but this is just a tried and true method of really thinking of notes that are all gonna sound good. So for this example, I'm working in my key of G. I'm gonna do this whole video. So I can either work in my pentatonic scale that starts with an E string root note, or I could start up here and do the A string root note. And for this, I'm going to think like, is the song going to be like a majory sounding solo? If so, I'll start my pinky on that root note, or is it going to be a minory solo? And that I'll start my first finger on that root note. So without getting into the weeds of the scales here, I'm going to start off by just thinking of a melody. So if I'm going like this, maybe I could just go like this, starting in this scale up here. Something really simple like that, nothing crazy, just like a little melody. And I think sometimes starting with just something really easy and simple like this can kind of jog your brain and make you kind of remember some of the licks that you've learned before in that, or maybe think like, oh, this would also sound cool. Like maybe I'll start now working into one of the other shapes of the pentatonic scales, or start kind of expanding upon your idea. Tip number 2 is really kind of noticing what notes are being played rhythmically in the background. So say the drums are kind of going more of like a 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of thing. And maybe there's another instrument that's also doing that same thing. Maybe thinking, can I switch up my rhythm here and kind of play upon that? So if everybody's kind of in that locked in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 type thing, thinking like, oh, maybe I'll like kind of start combining my notes so I can create some variation, like a really long kind of note here. Doing something like that sort of mixes up those notes. So using like 16th or 8th notes, or just one whole like long bend. The next thing that I like to do is thinking about harmonizing with your notes that you're playing if you create a little melody, or with whatever else is happening. This is where learning your intervals, like your thirds and sixths, are really gonna help. You can just Google those because there's so many videos on them out there, and they are really not hard to learn at all. So say I was doing that same exact progression. I could go. I could just kind of make this really simple rhythm, and you can just keep going all over the neck with that exact same thing, with maybe even just 2 strings, or you can change it up if you feel confident in what you're doing. but that's a great way to start and really get kind of the melody going on your guitar and do something that's very simple, but it does sound a little bit more advanced than just playing like a normal kind of like little single note thing. So if you're playing acoustic guitar, things are gonna look a little bit different if you are the only one playing, or if you have like a really minimal band setup, which is what me and my sister and husband have right now. In our band, we just have her, which she doesn't play anything yet, and my husband plays cajon. So a lot of times when it's like my time to solo, if I actually move up to take a solo, it sounds just super empty and awkward, and it just doesn't work. So what I'll do a lot of times, if I've learned little licks that I can play around certain chords, so if I was playing that same chord progression open, maybe for my A minor, I do this a lot. Like just a little hammer on pull off. And then I'll do E minor, D, and then maybe doing like a suspended chord type thing. So adding in some little suspends, adding in some like little pull-offs that then you can transition to the next chord, I think is always a great idea so things don't drop out. So I hope that these tips are helpful for you. Please let me know if you would like a video on acoustic about how you can create a really easy acoustic guitar solo while still keeping the rhythm and everything going. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and have an amazing rest of your day.